Hey guys, welcome to today's video, and today I wanted to share with you 3 ways that the Navy has changed me negatively. Before I begin, I want to tell you that I absolutely enjoy being in the Navy right now. I'm very thankful for this opportunity that not a lot of people get. It has completely revolutionized the way I think, the way I am financially, the way I view things, the way my work ethic. There's so many benefits to the military, but it's not always all 10s. On a scale of 1 to 10, it's not always 10, right? There's always, whatever medicine you eat, there's always side effects. And I wanted to share this with you, okay? And maybe when you join the military, you are going to recognize this in yourself. And I want you to kind of keep what I say in mind, just to remind yourself that it's normal, right? There's always drawbacks. There's always things that change about you when you are going into this intense organization. And so I hope you can get some value out of today's video. I want to share with you 3 specific health areas, right? Number 1, physical, right? Physical health, emotional health, and mental health, right? There's different types of health, like intellectual, spiritual, and the list can go on and on, but I'm just going to be sharing with you these 3. And in terms of physical health, right? When I went to boot camp, there was like a little pamphlet, and I was reading the pamphlet, and it said, in the Navy, we proudly feed our sailors 3 meals a day for $1.50 something. I forgot the exact figure, but I just remember it being like $1 something. And I remember saying to myself, this isn't something to be proud of. I understand what the Navy is trying to say, right? The Navy's trying to say, oh, we maximize our potential by spending little, right? But depending on how you look at it, and the way I looked at it was, you're buying food that's absolutely cheap, that's poor in quality, in my opinion, and you're bragging that you're feeding your military members this food that you bought that feeds 3 meals a day for $1 something. And that's what you're bragging about? Even McDonald's does not do up to this, capability. McDonald's cheeseburger is like $1, right? And it's $1 for a reason, right? They can still make money off of it because they mass purchase this food because it's a poor quality product in terms of for your health. And I do take full ownership for my health, right? Could I make better health decisions? Yes. Could I choose to eat better and as best as I can? Yes. But one of the flaws in the Navy is when you're out at ship, when you're out at sea, right? And I also live in the ship, right? The availability of good food, of healthy food is not around. Okay. And if I was to, okay, I would have to somehow manage a way to live in a house, right? And find a transportation plan, go to a market and cook my own food, which would take tremendous amount of my own resources, right? So that's one of the trade-offs, I guess. For me to save a lot of money, I'm sacrificing my health. And it's something I don't like to do, but it's just what I have committed at this point in my life. But health-wise, physically, how it has impacted me, I am as big. I'm almost reaching 200 pounds. When I entered boot camp, I was like 172. I have acid reflux. I have to start wearing glasses now. When I first joined, I was in this environment where it was required that you wear safety goggles. And I don't know why, but every time I was wearing that, it hurt my eyes. And I kept going to medical, and they say, hey, I don't know why. It doesn't have prescription in it. But, over time, I had to wear glasses now. And the ship was absolutely filthy, and it's still in some parts, when you're dusting and all that kind of stuff, you breathe in a lot of dust. And I still, to this day, you know, a couple days ago, I was blowing my nose and it was black snot because I was inhaling so much dust. And, you know, I can't tell you how many times I've woke up in the middle of the night because of paint fumes, right? I was sleeping in my berthing and I woke up, I was like, what smell? And, you know, it turns out there's some people are painting on the other side and that fumes is coming. And I'm sure there's many different things, right, outside of my control that's been affecting my health. But everything within my control, I accept total responsibility. But, and I'm sure I'm not saying if you join the military, your health is just going to be downgraded. You know, some people have been able to find a way to, you know, propel their health. But for me, right, it has not been that way. Number 2, emotional health. I am not necessarily proud of this. The way you see me in my videos, right, is this, you know, somewhat smart guy that just talks and you think it's cool to work. If you ever get to see me, it'll be cool. And if you ever get to work with me, it'll be cool, which, you know, it will be cool. But the type of personality I have in the working environment, right, my emotions get the best of me almost on a daily basis, right? I speak my emotions right away. I try to refrain myself and I try to control myself. To give you some specific examples, I get angry really easily. And it's a common thing that I notice a lot in the military. You know, I'm always anxious, you know, what if this happens? What if this happens? You know, there's many times where I just wake up, and I know it absolutely in my heart. I don't want to work. I don't want to do this. I don't want to start my day. And there are some days on the day off, I spend like majority of the day, like 12, 15 hours just laying in bed and trying to fall asleep. And, you know, even though I know in my mind I should get up and do stuff. And that's one of the biggest reasons why I think that I haven't produced videos for the majority of this year. It's because emotional health, it's terrible. And it's affected me and it's changed me. I can clearly see a difference between before I joined the military and after I joined the military. But like I said, the biggest thing I'm not proud of, is my anger management. I flip out very easily. I get into arguments a lot with, you know, my higher chain of command, chiefs and officers, because if I truly believe they are wrong, I'll tell them straight out. I'll be like, hey, you're wrong. Right? I got into an argument with an officer like 2 days ago. Turned out I was wrong, so I just called him up and manned up. I was like, hey, you're right, I'm wrong. But, you know, there are many cases where they are actually wrong and I'm right. And, you know, obviously they don't want to hear that, but I make sure they know. And it's petty stuff like that. I just can't let go. Final point here, number 3, mental health. So I think there's a fine line of difference between emotional and mental health. And some of you might say it's pretty much the same, or might think it's pretty much the same. But mentally, right, I believe in my DNA, the person I am just not built as a human being to be working for somebody else. Okay, I think I should lead my own team, lead my own company. That's one of the reasons why I just absolutely hate being in the military. But I'm also grateful that I'm in the military because it has taught me that I should be a leader and not a follower within an organization. But the point that I'm trying to get across is the mental capacity that I have of tolerance for stupidity, tolerance for people that I personally believe are not even worth $1 an hour, right? If I owned a McDonald's, right, and I had to hire somebody to clean toilets, I wouldn't hire some of the people in the military because I personally believe they wouldn't do a good job. And I personally believe they are not capable of doing a good job. I would not hire them. I personally believe they're not even worth $1 an hour. Okay? And I'm giving you a lot of negativity, right? And I hope you don't take this too hard. And I'm not saying the military is a terrible place. It's a wonderful place. It's a great organization. But there's also individuals within the military that just ruin it for people like me, right? And being under the leadership of people who, in my opinion, are not talented, are not natural leaders, right? When you see a movie, right, some people are great as a main character, but some people are also great as a supporting actor, right? But if that supporting actor is trying to become a main character, you can kind of tell it shouldn't be. And it's when movies get, not that popular. Okay? Imagine in Harry Potter, right? Just to give you a crazy example. In Harry Potter, right? There's Harry and Ron Weasley. Imagine if Ron Weasley was Harry Potter and Harry Potter was Ron Weasley, the actors, right? I forgot his name. It's like Redcliffe or something. Imagine if the roles changed, right? You kind of say, like, you would look at it now and say, nah, that doesn't make sense. Like that, okay? That's how I view things in the military, okay? People who are not naturally gifted, naturally talented in leadership, take leadership positions, and just because they take classes and just because they get training in leadership, and to granted they try their best, right? But when that natural talent isn't there, so my mental thought kind of broke there a little bit, but you get what I'm saying or what I'm trying to say, right? That environment, right? Environmental health, I guess that's another one of the health factors, but that environment, right, being engulfed and being in that environment 24/7 has affected me mentally in such a bad way that, in many ways, right now I'm just stuck inside my mind, and I create different, stories that, oh my gosh, this is a depressing place and all that kind of stuff. But I always try to bring that positivity and optimism out and say, like, Yoon, you're okay. Everything's fine. You just need to have a different perspective and be positive. But it's always a constant struggle. And it's a struggle that I personally believe a lot of you will face when you join the military. So, like I said, I hope when you go through this, right, it's not if you go through this, it's when you go through this. Sometimes it'll be maybe like a very small fraction of your time in the military. Some of you, like I said, will get lucky, go to a great place, right, where you don't really have to deal with any of this, but you will have to deal with it at some point within your career. Just understand that it's going to be normal, it's fine. Just always try to push through it, because I know, I personally believe at the end of the day, at the end of my military career, all these hardships that I went through build the armor of tolerance that I can take when I'm in the civilian world, when I'm owning my own business, my own company. I know I can, and I personally believe that I can do better than all my competition, because I worked 15 hours a day under incompetent people for 7 days a week, working insane 100-hour weeks. I know my competition will not be able to do that, and I can wreck my competition. And that's the outlook that I have. But I just want to tell you, it absolutely is terrible. It absolutely sucks. In some parts of the Navy, and more specifically the part of the Navy that I'm in. I hope a lot of you don't go through what I have to go through. But yeah, I hope you got some values from this video. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day.